we saw the Twins making some moves and not really sure what they're thinking, what's going on with the Twins. You want to get into that one a little bit?
Yeah, I was not expecting the Twins to be the headline makers of the offseason, but that's what they've been so far. And it's been high volume moves that just don't really add up. It's like you're doing a connect the dots and they're just going complete separate ways every single time. So they added Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Ronnie Henriquez, trading away Mitch Garver to the Texas Rangers. So you're trading away one of your better players, I would say, in Mitch Garver, and you're getting back some value, but you're immediately turning around. You're flipping Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Josh Donaldson, I'm going to butcher his name, but Ben Rortvedt, who's a catcher, for Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez, two guys that were kind of on the outs with the Yankees. And I don't know if you're making your team better or worse there. So it's two trades that kind of are a wash, and you don't really know whether you're getting better or worse if you're selling or you're buying. Which is the trade, by the way, I think is good for the Yankees. They get a good player at third. I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, a very versatile player that any team would want to have at this point, as long as he's not your starting shortstop. But then also the Twins turning around and going out and buying Sonny Gray and trading away one of their better prospects and one of the better draft prospects in recent years in Chase Petty. And they want another starting pitcher, and they're in on Trevor Story. So you're trading away some of your better players and you're trading away your future to buy players. And it just doesn't really make sense. I'm not really sure what the Twins are doing, especially in a division where I think no matter what moves they make, they're not going to beat the White Sox in that division.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to be an edge playoff team, but you're right. The moves really just don't make sense. And I've got strong thoughts about the Sonny Gray for Chase Petty trade. I really feel like that trade has a little bit of Tatis for James Shield vibes. You give away like a really good prospect for a mid-tier at best starting pitcher. And I just don't like that move for the Twins. And like you said, all their moves, they're head scratchers. They're not adding up. Maybe they're just trying to make the playoffs and they'll be happy with that next year after. They had some success, not in the playoffs, but they were winning the Central for a few years, and maybe they're just desperate to be a playoff team again.
And it's a lot of movement and trading away some quality guys I don't even know if I would call them all that much better. Gio Urshela over Josh Donaldson, I don't think you're upgrading. I think Josh Donaldson's a better player. Gary Sanchez.
You save some money there at
you
least.
Do save some money, yeah. But at this point, it's getting close to season time. It doesn't really matter how much money you have. Mitch Garver, I would say, is a better catcher than Gary Sanchez, and I would say it's pretty marginally. And then trading away Chase Petty to get Sonny Gray now, which I guess they needed pitching, but it's not enough that I think you need to go out and buy a guy like Sonny Gray. So I don't even know if I would call them a better team after all these moves.
Yeah, they're definitely a different look team, but you're right. Maybe not better. I think if they trade for another starting pitcher and get Trevor Story, they could be a playoff team. But as of now, I don't know if they have much success in the Central.
Yeah, and I think with the Twins, they missed their previous window, and they're trying to maybe recreate a little bit of that window right now. But if I were them, I'd be focusing on the future. I'd want to keep a guy like Chase Petty for a couple of years down the line when you don't have to deal with the Rays being at the level they're at right now. You don't have to deal with the Astros, who are still going to be good, the White Sox and the Blue Jays, who are heavily rising, and the Red Sox and the Yankees, who are the Red Sox and the Yankees. So I think their window was down the road, and it seems like they're kind of giving some of that away to be relevant now. And I don't even know if this team is a playoff team. But speaking of the Yankees, I think the trade was good for them, and I just got a notification that they're in agreement in a contract with Anthony Rizzo. So I don't know, maybe speak to the Yankees a little bit, because they had some big aspirations coming into the offseason, and so far they've ended up with Anthony Rizzo, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Josh Donaldson, not Freddie Freeman and Carlos Correa or Corey Seager.
Yeah, Rizzo, he's a solid player. I think they wanted to get a short-term deal. I don't know what they ended up signing him to, but Rizzo's a good consolation, but you're right. It sucks for Yankees fans missing out. You're going to the offseason. We're going to get Freddie Freeman, and we're going to get Seager, Correa, or Story, and you end up with Rizzo again and Kiner-Falefa as your first baseman and shortstop. And then you get the news they got a few unvaccinated players. Won't get into that too much, but it's just not looking good for the Yankees right now for next season. And like we said, it's a good consolation, but it's just not what the Yankees were expecting going into this offseason.
Yeah, I don't think they're done making moves. They're still in on Freddie Freeman. This move to get Anthony Rizzo, though, kind of signals that might not be a possibility for them anymore. I think they still want to maybe bring in a guy like Carlos Correa, but we just haven't been hearing a lot on that front as we were at the beginning of the offseason before the lockout. And there's still maybe guys that they can go out and trade for, be it Sean Murphy, who I've heard they're interested in, or one of the A's starters in Minaya or Montas, but it just doesn't really feel like what we expected from the Yankees. And with the great teams in the AL East from the past, like the Rays and teams that are getting way better, like the Blue Jays, it kind of feels like the Yankees are the disappointing team in that division.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I was going to mention that the Rays, they're going to compete for a while. Blue Jays are up on the up and coming, but it's kind of feeling like the Yankees are on the outs a little bit on the AL East. And the Red Sox, they surprised them. They end up beating the Yankees in the wild card last year, so they could be a playoff team. So the Yankees, where they're at right now, they're a fringe playoff team at best, is what I'd say, especially in that tough division.